Good afternoon, welcome to Sunday. We are done with the picking, we're done with the admin, done for the day. Just gone 1 p.m, new vlog's up, and it's been an interesting pick. First one is off to, is that one? This one's off to Austria. Very earthy colours, who knows. Nice little order there. Obviously someone building an old school Star Wars set with those two parts and those sand blue cones, pretty rare. Likewise over here, someone building a Falcon, I would guess, from the parts. Nice. This one's off to no, this one is the Austrian one, that one is the New Zealand one. This one's off to Austria, so that's nice. Dish and whatnot for Rebecca, repeat buyer, and another repeat buyer whose name I've forgotten. Rick, not Ricky, but Rick. A whole load of parts, nearly 1,000 parts, but all small parts. So good order. That one getting the tile. The other one's sitting over there, still waiting to go. I haven't done anything with that, but I have done all of my wanted list stuff. Done all the kind of the admin that I like to get done, and that'll be it then. So another week kicks off. Obviously a big week with sorter going to be sorting for me. I'm going to send 3 over. What I've decided to do is the chocolate box and the one-piece set, and those 3 of those. I'm going to get those done and part it out, so that'll be decent, and then we can drip feed in other things as we go. There's a couple of there's 3 snow trooper battle packs there. Maybe I should part them out because those snow troopers go well. Maybe it'll be that little bundle. Let's do that. Give him a whole load to start with and see how he goes in terms of speed and accuracy, I guess, isn't it? So yeah, just I found a random piece on the floor and I can't get that box out with one hand, so it will wait. Anyway, this is going to make a bit of a dent in the cupboard, which is good. It will allow it to return to what it's meant to be used for, being a cupboard. Maybe we can get some drawers, some more drawers in there. Bit of an expansion. Do we need to expand? Probably not. But yeah, so this week should be a bit calmer than last week. The work projects are all done, other than sorting out start of the month all the fees for Brick Freedom, Brick Owl, Bricklink. I mean, that's a kick in the privates to start the month off, but October was a pretty good one. I will at some point do a little bit of a catch up on that through the vlog, but for now I'm going to pack up these 6, add them to the 3 from yesterday, and then that'll be me for the day. Go and enjoy some sunshine, although we did go and have breakfast this morning by the ocean, the Indian Ocean actually. Yeah, we did that this morning, so I shall catch you tomorrow, Monday. Okay, cheeky little last order for Sunday. This is the benefit of being a frequent top 2 probably customer. Makes me think there's a few that I haven't seen for a while. Kiwi Phil hasn't placed an order in a long time, and Damien, who used to come and collect all the time. Anyway, this one's Ricky, a Gamorrean guard, old school figure. A whole load of 16 by 16 plates, and then a whole load of tiles. That is a nice little setup. I wonder if he is making some kind of hanger or something for Millennium Falcon or something like that. Anyway, it'll remain a mystery because he's not one for sharing quickly. He likes to tease it out, the little monkey. But there you go. Nice. Thanks for the order, Ricky. Appreciate that. And I do know that he's the proud owner of the new UCS Death Star for Christmas. I'm not ruining his surprise. You know, Santa told me it was all right. So very jealous of that as well. But yeah, otherwise this order would have waited till Monday evening to get picked. But the benefit of being a regular customer, I just squeeze it in to get it out in the post run in the morning. So that's it. Sunday really done this time. I'll see you tomorrow. Welcome to Monday evening, 6:45. Everyone will be familiar with, or everyone here anyway, will be familiar with Australia's largest Bricklink store. It's got themselves into a spot of bother. I didn't actually know that this was a threshold, so this is more a public service announcement than anything else. 3 or more completed non-shipping sellers or non-responding sellers. Interestingly, the bad feedback that I saw a long time ago about, and it's only minimal, don't get me wrong, like their feedback's better than mine, so let's get that in perspective, was that they often didn't respond. So yeah, if you've got 3 NSS or NRS, I've never had an NRS, but an NSS, I've definitely had 2. Have I had 2 of those so far that got sorted? But if you have 3 at the same time, you are automatically suspended, which I did not know. That is damn harsh. And as a result, you can't click into the feedback or anything like that. But that's a big deal for the largest store, which actually makes Tanya from Sydney Brick Emporium the largest store in Australia right now, of which I'm sure she's bloody delighted. No parts arrived today, although these 2 gifts we purchased did. It's pretty damn cute, the little Simba and the what's his name? God, Toy Story Woody. Yes, Woody. Wow, that went from me completely. Got another couple of these coming, I think, but this is a quality gift with purchase. I really like that hat with the trim details. It's a pretty cool little set, I have to be honest. That one probably keep rather than parting out. And speaking of which, on the part out front, I had a message, I should say, from another potential parter outerer. It's been suggested that I call them contractors. I'm not going to go down that route because I don't feel like I'm a powermonger. If you know, you know. It's a joke. Moving on. I might call them the part out patrol, because I don't know, I just got this like little vision in my head, like Paw Patrol kind of thing. Anyway, part out patrol. Jason from Kiwi Brick Exchange suggested or asked if I'd got them all little yellow overalls so I could call them minions, but I'm thinking the part out patrol could be or the part out team. That makes them sound like special forces, doesn't it? Anyway, what we got? We got 2, 4, 6 in, and another one's just come in. I saw that pop up on the phone. This one is for collection, a whole load of technique-y type things in there, including some brick separators, which, you know, that's probably only the second time I've ever sold any. Domestic letter, all sorts in there. It's kind of got a bit of an old school kind of vibe. Those dark orange things, they're unusual. This one is off to Brick Resales, which is a website. If you're not familiar with them, they may be on Bricklink. I have no idea. But that's off to Brick Resales. And there were, like, it was 127 of those as opposed to 130 of those. And I have more in stock, so I don't know why you didn't go 130. Anyway, not my business. Whole load of black, quite interesting parts in this one. A real variety of stuff. That's probably something Batman I'm going with. A little bit, it's kind of got a nighty feel, hasn't it, that one? And then this one, which I think is for Ben, who's a regular buyer, or Benjamin, I'm not sure what he goes by in his real world, but as you can see, dark, light blue grey and reddish brown all the way. There was another question on the vlog that went up, it's gone quite well, about how do I store capes. It's quite simple, I just store them in here. So they have a drawer of their own. They're all individually bagged. Sometimes I've kept them in the cardboard sleeve. Other times I haven't. I don't know what the difference between them is. But they're all in there. That drawer's getting quite full, so we'll need a new one shortly. But yes, that's how I store those. There were some other amazing questions so far on the vlog, so it will make for a good chit chat section later in the week. But postage is done, labels are done, just need to pack them up. And that's me done for the night at 10 to 7, which is decent. So I might put one of those on the store tonight. I'm going to keep one back, but I'll put one of those up and then we'll see how we go. But yeah, job done for the evening already. Good stuff. Good morning. It is early doors Wednesday, and that is still the situation for Australia's largest store. And the knock-on effect of that is that is the amount of orders for a traditionally sleepy Tuesday. 14. That is potentially a daily record. Coffee on the go. 14 orders to pick in what is already a busy day. We've got Tim coming to collect that order. We've got the final parts for that build that somebody is doing, or collating for their son for a gift, so that's good. And we've also got the first drop off with the part out patrol. So I will come back to that this afternoon. As I discussed, there's going to be two different members of the part out patrol team. So the first package is ready. I need to get the second one sorted out for Friday, but today, Wednesday, will be the drop off of the first one, and we'll see how the first member goes on their first trial of it. So I'm going to do a fair bit today amongst everything else. 14 to pick. It is looking like, just mute and stare at nothing for a minute while I get the iPad fired up. It is looking like go back. It is 14 orders, 331 lots, 2,941 items, which is a fair amount. First, still not paying all the fees. Got to do that today. But yeah, that's the reality of it. Got to get those done. Still need to sort out all of that. Had yesterday off. I'm continuing this being a little bit mindful of having some time off, just to do family stuff and hang out with the missus and stuff like that. But net result is got 14 to pick, 2,900. That's probably 3 or so hours work. We'll film some stuff for the Chit Chat as well, because there's been some cracking questions this week, and we'll get stuck into it. Okay, Wednesday afternoon, some time later, and quite a significant amount of time. 16 orders picked. A couple more came in during the pick, so they're now done. This is these. 100 of those slopes and a whole load of Technic panels, and this one a whole load of weaponry, which is good. Couple of domestic letter, couple of dark blue cones, and then a whole load of tan jumper plates and some other bits and pieces. Some of those dark red curvy corner brick things, and some other white slopes in that one. White, black, including that tool, and some bright light orange, is it? Yeah. Clearing me out of those white brackets, most often seen in X-Wings, a Yoda instructions and another little part. Random parts in there. Sand blue, sand green, tan, black, you name it. Some Dreams figures going out, 2 of each, and a CMF, along with some flower parts and some tan stuff. Those will make nice little flowers. The other flower inserted into the other. That character from the minifigure, Microfighter, even Star Wars, can't remember her name, and some nice small parts. And then we're into the bigger orders. I think it was 160 of them, clearing me out of those, and 30 of them, which is decent. A whole bunch of white and dark blue grey, a lot of slopes in there, and then a random assortment of stuff. I usually go colour per colour, but because these are smaller parts and these things have lots of slots, I separated them out so they didn't get stuck. Modular all the way here, dark red, tan, bit of sand green, white, some tiles and things, good stuff. More slopes, windows, all sorts in black, some reddish brown. I'm missing one piece in that, and a couple of sticker sheets. The most lots, I think it was 90 odd in that one, very 1s and 2s and stuff. And then another big one, predominantly light blue grey, as you can see, a bunch of black and a little bit of dark blue grey. That one getting the tile. What else got the tile? This one got the tile. I think that's it. And the values were kind of controllable, and it wasn't a bad pick. It's just you know, way more than you would normally do in a day. I mean, this is a weekend's worth at the moment. The impact of Bricks Warehouse really showing on stores, and whilst you don't wish it on anyone, and it is a terrible process to appeal being suspended or whatever happens, especially the NSS, or not that I've had it, NRS, but NSS, non-shipping seller alert, to get those resolved is not a speedy affair without the cooperation of everyone, and Bricklink are not the quickest. So we're on to that. I need to do the label for this order that's been sitting here for a while now that that's complete, so I'll get that done and shipped off, and these all packed up ready to go. And then I need to get the part out patrol stuff ready, so once I've done all of that and packed away, I'll show you what we're up to with that. Okay, 2 bags of post all ready to go, and here is the part out box. This one is part out box A, continuing the naming conventions. What are we going with? So I've got a printout of each of the sets. So there's the one piece set, there's the Celebration Valentine's Day box, and there are some Snow Trooper battle packs, and on each one I've kind of detailed the lots and the parts. So the biggest one is 124 lots, which is the one piece set. So those in kind of just overviews can go in there, along with there's 100 bags there, and there's a whole load of smaller snack size bags there, and underneath the picking cups there are medium bags, should there be volume in anything, although I'm not expecting there to be so. And then all I get to do is pop the lid on. Try that with one hand, not the easiest. Here we go. Diddle-a-doo. Can't do it with one hand. Jesus, why is that so difficult? There we go. Part out box 1. Those stickers don't come off, that annoys me. Part out box 1 ready to go to the part out patrol. We'll see how they get on. Starting them off easy, because you know it's a bit of a learning curve even for a new beginner. So that's the first one, and there'll be another one of those going out on Friday to the second parter outerer. And yeah, it's a big maneuver on the part of the store, isn't it? But well timed, given that this week's off to a flyer. So I've got to do my feedback and wanted lists and all that stuff next. But yeah, there we go. Part out box 1 done. Good evening. It is Thursday. I don't pick on a Thursday. Keep on picking, eh? Update from part out picker, part out patrol, I don't know, number 1. Anyway, he's already done one of the sets. He's done the one piece already, parted out, moving on to the Star Wars tonight. So that could be ready at the weekend, which would be good, because there's been no uploading this week whatsoever. And as you've seen, it has been a busy week. I'm going to presume that Bricks Warehouse is still closed. I haven't checked, but I might in a minute. But I picked a few this morning before work, and I've picked 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tonight, just the small ones. I've got one order to pick in the morning, repeat buyer, and it's 1,000 odd parts. So it's only 26 lots, so it's not going to take too long, but a bit of counting. So I'm saving that till the end. But yeah, the week continues with 9 of those Clone Troopers SW1189, some other trans parts, and that one getting the tile. Old school store, a Snow Trooper there with a whole bunch of very retro feeling Star Wars parts. I think they are from a turbo tank from memory. Maybe not. Bosk, Boba, and an Anakin there. A something or other, Ringwalt or something like that from Lord of the Rings there. Buyer contacted me to ask me the condition of those. It was one of those things, I bought them as a used lot. They were all immaculate mint condition figures, the Lord of the Rings ones. And they're all high value, right? So that's not bad for a used figure. Something quite Christmassy there, black leg assembly, the rest of it looking quite Christmassy. some medium tan, not a colour I've seen a lot of, and I'm not sure where it came from. They're in a drawer with lots of parts. It obviously came from one set, but there's a few medium tan parts there. Repeat buyer again, but I can't remember his name, but dark blue, light blue grey in there, very tasty looking. And someone who did a shipping request on Brick Owl for some large wheels, that being them. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 orders in, which is pretty good. There's a whole load of stuff that needs sorting out over there. I'm very conscious of how messy everything is at the moment. Let's just go to my favourite stores and then go to my least favourite stores. These are the ones that I'm banned from, or ones that are just like off the scale. Yeah, still suspended. You know, I remember when Steve from Super Bricks was suspended. That took him a couple of weeks. I think Fantechnic was similar. Noah got away with it quite quickly, although I did have a direct Bricklink email for Lego, so maybe that helped in that case, although it didn't help Steve very much at all. But that continues into Thursday night stroke Friday. Maybe they'll get them open for the weekend, but the net result of that has really been quite a positive. Excuse me while I just clear my throat and open the iPad. If I could remember the passcode. Yeah, we are sitting 10% up. Average sales value down, but that tends to be the metric. If the income is up, the order value tends to be down because you're getting a lot of smaller orders. But as you can see, we are 23% up on both sales per day and total sales. Now that has been tracking around the 4 point something, so as you can see, that is a significant jump up. And it'll be interesting to, when we do store report at the end of the start of next week, when we see the impacts of that on stores across the board. Julian from BL Metrics has sent me the global data for the markets that BL Metrics cover. So I'm going to do an American industry kind of report. That'll probably be out next week, which will look at the month of September, which is where we are at. Not an awful lot added to the wanted list overnight. I did place a whole bunch of orders yesterday, which I think I may have mentioned, some big ones, and it's interesting how quickly people are onto it. Like, you know, you get a lot of comments about how quickly you ship things, and I don't necessarily think that that's uncommon, but certainly kind of the bigger stores that I deal with, and the ones that are friendly stores, shall we say, they've all been real super quick, good tracking, a couple of them using kind of updating you of your shipment on PayPal, a lot of tracking numbers and stuff like that coming through, so that's good. I'll maybe have a look at that tomorrow with you in terms of what's been ordered, values and stuff like that. It has been because I needed funds to pay for things over Christmas when my mother is coming to visit. I haven't seen my mother since 2019, 2018, before COVID. Anyway, I haven't seen her, so it's been a long time. She's coming over for Christmas, which will be lovely, won't it? Get to hang out with the grandkids and all of that stuff, so excellent time for her. Really looking forward to that. But anyway, I needed funds for that, so I haven't been spending anywhere near as much as I had been on parts from Bricklink, which obviously you get a bit more of a quicker, parts come in a little bit quicker than they do if you're ordering them from Bricks and Pieces. But essentially the point I'm making, get to it will you, is I have not spent an awful lot in through September. September was way down. Haven't done the full numbers yet, but it was way down, and as a result there's nothing being added this week. And with me having outsourced part outs and outsourcing some more part outs to Part Out Patrol number 2 tomorrow, at least that will keep the wheels in motion as we head into mid to late November and through December. Going to close up. Not sure when I'm going to close up. I might keep running until kind of Christmas Day, to be honest. We'll see. But there's plenty to be done the rest of this year to keep us on track for the 1 million. And at the moment, that is getting fueled nicely by this little spike in sales. Long may it last, but hopefully not too long, because it's somebody's livelihood that's at stake here because of those NSS or NRS. For those of you who don't know, it is a non-shipping seller alert or a non-responding seller. So it's very important customer service, and this is the first time I've seen Bricklink actually picking people up on that. I haven't checked the T's and C's to see where it talks about it, but I may well do over the next few days just to double check. Anyway, that's all done. I'm going to do the postage tomorrow. I'm calling it a day because Thursday I don't pick, well, even though that was quick and easy, to be honest. So I'll see you back here Friday morning. We'll get all of this done. We'll pick that big order. I'll film the Chit Chat. I'll do the store, all the things I usually do on Friday. And we've got Part Out Patrol 2 to sort out. So I'll take you through that as well. It's kind of the same thing but different. Yeah, that's where we're at. Welcome to another week of Chit Chat. So much going on this week. What do we got? We've got Goonies out. We've got Star Trek launched. We've got F1 Speed Champions. We've got Back to the Future Speed Champions. We've got leaks of the new Mandalorian Lego sets. It's all going on. Much of it orchestrated by Lego themselves, it seems, at the moment. But anyway, we'll try and focus on the questions that were asked. I talked about one earlier in the week from Alvin P-1 about how do I store capes and ship them. I didn't think I mentioned how to ship them. I just put them in a bag, because everything's a box. It's fairly rigid. So, yeah, straightforward. Jeff K9P. Why do I hate parting out? It's one of his favourite parts of running a store. It's time. Time is the biggest issue I have with it. It takes a lot of time. It's a lot of time that I don't have. I'm a one-man band, or until recently anyway, and a couple of hours to do a part out is a couple of hours. You could be putting parts in, or getting lots more parts in, or doing orders, or sorting out admin and allocation and all of that stuff, which leads beautifully into Julian from BL Metrics question, which is, what is the most limiting factor for you to grow your store bigger? Time, space, money, motivation, or anything else? And that is just a superb question. Time probably is, these are probably actually in the right order. Time is huge. If you're doing this on your own, time is limited, and whether it's kind of correcting an order or dealing with customer service or doing your admin, it just sucks up time. So to run it part-time, if you're like me, kind of balancing that and a couple of other jobs, it is time consuming, and therefore that is a big limiting factor. Second only to space, because whilst you could take over the entire house, it's probably not the thing that the wife really wants to do, having sacrificed the master bedroom for the store way back whenever that was. But even then, you soon run out of space the bigger you grow. And whilst it's something I think about often and try and come up with novel solutions, like the containers that you've seen if you've watched the vlogs, it is a limiting factor, as is money. Because if you don't have the money to reinvest, and you need it for dentists, contact lenses, taking the kids on a treat, school fees, whatever it is, car breaks down, money makes the world go around. And there isn't a great deal of money to be made in Bricklink until you get to big scale. And even then, big scale comes with big expenses, as Just a Brick in a Bucket discovered. Motivation is probably the least one in my experience. I think doing these vlogs keeps it quite fun and not quite so isolating as perhaps might be. But motivation, yeah, some days you just can't be bothered, and those days come few and far between. But it was one of the reasons that I wanted to be quite protective about having time off those Tuesdays and Thursdays as it is now, and I do what I need to do at the weekend, and then I tap out and just enjoy time with a wife in the sun, going for breakfast, whatever it is. That balance is really important to keep your motivation up. So it's not one thing, it's a lot of things. The Toker Man hasn't had a question for a while, but I often show gifts with purchases I've received, but I don't see what you purchased to receive the gift. Can we see more? I don't actually buy that many sets anymore. I used to collect an awful lot, and now it's quite specific. Key Star Wars, modulars, and the occasional thing that I would like. I have a wanted list as long as my arm, but every penny that I've got spare goes back into the store, chasing that 1 million parts at the moment. So what do I buy to get the gifts we purchase? Parts from me. Chunk Hunk 47, another one that hasn't had a question for a fair while. Great to see someone parting out for you. Does that mean you will concentrate a lot more on good value sets using BL metrics? Yes, it does mean I'll be more ready to do that rather than here and now where I'm looking to kind of add something different. Being able to outsource that is going to be quite liberating and allow me to plan ahead. The Panda set that is going out this week is one of those sets. It's been on my list to part out for a while. It's quite a lot of lots. It's quite fiddly. It's 3 of them was kind of 1900 parts, 160 something lots. So it's big for the space. So yeah, I think that's going to free me up to target things a little bit more readily if I see things on a deal. Like there's some good deals on Speed Champions at the moment. Part outs are fairly decent. Minifigures, wheels and things like that always go well. So that's on my list for the first part outerer once he's completed the 3 that he's got at the moment. And finally, Fast Eddie 3939. A business plan 101 would be helpful before starting, or at least before scaling up to incurring debt. Yeah, a business plan 101 is pretty important. Knowing what you want to do, what budget you can assign to it comfortably, because there'll always be costs that you're not foreseeing. You'll run out of packaging, you'll need Ziploc bags, sales will come up, out of the blue, and it's just a good deal. So you kind of do want to have some good cash flow. So a business plan's a good idea. I do have a start in the Bricklink series of vlogs, videos, how-to guides, whatever you call them, which probably helps set up some of the questions you need to be asking yourself around what kind of store you're going to be, what you're going to sell, how you're going to ship it, setting up shipping, excuse me, all of those things. So it's probably worth checking out if you haven't already. And that's it. Questions for the week done and dusted. Thank you everyone that has given a question. If you have questions for next week, drop them in the comments down below and I'll answer them, whether it's through the vlog or in this section if they can be answered in this section. We'll do it like that. So good to be back on the Chit Chat. Missed it, but thanks everybody. Back to the vlog. Okay, second part out box put together. This one's kind of just sweeping up things that have been hanging around. We've got 3 of the Pandas, we've got 4 of the Night Troopers, and we've got 2 of the Ambush on Mandalore to go. That is 1,941 parts in the Pandas, 492 in the Night Death Troopers even, and 248, although there's more lots in the Mandalore one. So a bit of a range, because I figure kind of doing big ones straight off the back is probably a bit soul destroying. So we're just working through the these low hanging fruit. The right phrase? Probably not. But anyway, good part out value on the Pandas. Got them cheap from Big W. That was where it was from. They were cheaper than retail, which is always good. In fact, all of these have always been cheaper than retail, haven't they? So we'll get those out. I think this one's probably got the most useful parts. I think I've got these in stock, parted out, and as minifigures, so we'll make a call on that once they're parted out. And these ones, excuse me, I've just had a cereal bar, it's stuck in my throat. These ones, I think we've got stock in all of them, but maybe not parted out. Can't quite remember. but we'll figure that out. They just need clearing out. And then part out team 1, as I said, is kind of finished 2 of the 3, so maybe I'll collect that over the weekend and switch out for some others. Just kind of slowly kind of keep this moving. I mean, this is what 248, 6, 7, 740, and yeah, so it's going to be like, this one's going to be like in excess of 2,500 parts. The first one is probably 2,000 parts, so if I could turn 2 of these around a week, that's an extra 4.5 plus parts going into the store every week, which is stuff that I've got in stock, so it's not a cost, you know, no capital expenditure required to do that, which is obviously a good thing, and it creates a bit of room. Having put all of those cups and stuff into the boxes, it's actually freeing up space up here, which could be reused for another overflow box at the very least, which is decent. I ordered new stickers on Wednesday. Did I do that? So they're already printed and dispatched, which is really good. But yeah, this space could become a bit of a place for some more of one of those, which are IKEA 10 litre. Are they 10 litre? Yeah, 10 litre storage boxes from IKEA. So that could well be something that we need to jump onto. And the other thing I've been trying to figure out is whether or not with this 3 stack high, obviously that's 2, 4, 6 litres. Those are 5 litres. They could all go in one of those. Those could break down. But there's, how many colours are in there? Like, there's 4 in there, so it would take up 3 of those. Anyway, I'm trying to think about the space saving of it all. You know, there are some bins which are quite full, and then there are some which could be split out and make more sense. Are these smaller 5 litre, I should say, these 5 litre, are they 5 or 2? 2. Yeah, 2 litre. Are they more efficient for picking and finding parts and stuff like that? The constant thinking about it. And then I was equally thinking about whether or not going 3 high on these will work. But I think the problem with that is that, you know, even if I got 1, 2, 3, 4 up there, that's only one column of these. And then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 through there. So even so you could clear one of these. I'll stand back so you can see what I'm talking about. I could clear one of those racks with pots if we went 3 high, which means I could get 2 more drawer units in there. Decisions as we move on, because we're down to the last 3 on that side, and then we've got another 4 this side, which is plenty. But in terms of small drawers, we have 2 remaining here and a good more than half in this one. So I'm just forward planning. Not that I feel like expansion is required at this stage as we refine what is in store, but always thinking about where you could shift and move stuff. So yeah, one of the jobs I want to get done fairly soon is going through all the overflow bins and topping up and reallocating whatever needs to go wherever. So that again is on my to-do list for maybe later on today. We'll see how we travel really with other things that I want to get done.
Store report.
Okay, week 44, and it's a bit of a dramatic one, as kind of you'll already know from following the vlog. But this is the state of play. A couple of new metrics, so we can kind of keep an eye on what's happening in the world, as ever, mixing it up. But where are we at? We are at week 44, as I say. Total was 650, so just slightly down on last week. That's from the usual 26 OG stores, if you like. The average remained completely consistent at 23. These were all calculated on the 5th of November. And there was plenty of fireworks. I'm here all week. Anyway, as we know, Bricks Warehouse is currently suspended I took their order number Monday morning, and by the time I was at the office on still Monday morning, I received an email saying, had I seen that they had been suspended. So I wasn't able to run the last 4 metrics for them, but that said, their weekly orders had gone down again. It's quite a pattern. They do seem to be diminishing week on week. The trend has definitely been downwards for quite some time. The odd kind of spike, but anyway, not sure what's going on there. They are suspended for an NSS, NRS, one of the two. 3 of them on the go at the moment. So a word to the wise to all store owners watching this: make sure you keep your customer service front of mind. So that brings us to the rest of it. Obviously next week's going to look completely different, given that it is now Friday when I'm recording this and they are still suspended. But Fantechnic were top of the shop with 65 orders this week, continuing up from 53 last week after a bit of a stinker 3 weeks. Their price difference is -3. Their total items is 218,659. They are not the biggest store in the country, but they are doing the most orders. Their store size back when I started, well, not when I started, back when BL Metrics started, was 209,349. So we're talking March through to November. March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November. So kind of approaching 8 months, and their store has grown 9,310. So let's say that's about over 1,000 a month. Their store has been growing. In at number 3, up for Goldie Bricks Zone, 52 orders this week. That's the biggest they've had in a while. 11% over the price difference, and their store, as you can see, has grown 41,358 since the 17th of March of this year. Up to Pretty Bricks over in Tasmania, 49, coming back 1 on last week's 48, which was unusually low for them. They are 41% over the 6 months average, and their store has grown 109,143 in the past 8 months. Is that what we're saying that is? Up 3 is Australia's new biggest store, whilst Bricks Warehouse are out of action. Tanya over on Sydney Brick Emporium. She is up 3 this week from 29 to 43. She is 70% over the 6 months average, but that is down 1% in the last week, and her store has grown a whopping 881,769 parts in the last 8 months. Back in March she was only 468,536, and now sitting at 1.35 million. So fantastic effort. Down 2 is Bricktastics with 42 this week. That should have been in red, as it's a drop from 51 last week. They are 22% over the 6 months average. That is up a couple of percent in the last week, and their store has actually shrunk. Now, given that they're only 56,508, they do an awful lot of sales, and their average part per piece value, as we looked at last week, was like what was it? It was kind of $3.40 or something. $3.23. There it is from last week. $3.23. So you can imagine it's a fair old kind of business model they've got going there. But their store has decreased by almost 3,000 parts in the 8 months. A big faller this week is Noah's Brickshed. Obviously, he's on his travels. Maybe that kind of lack of awareness that he's still open for business is having an effect. Who knows? Down to 42 this week. That's a 3-week slump that he's facing. He is 85% over the 6 months average, and that is again down 1% this week, which could mean that the average price per, the average price 6 months average has gone up across the board 1% in the last week, and why people have come down. It would mean that Bricktastics kind of has gone up because they've added some more high value items. Anyway, Brickshed has grown 10,105 parts in the 6 months. And that clearly does not account for everything that gets sold. It's just where they were and where they are now. Another big faller, down 3. Ashburton Bricks down to 41 sales this week, and at 10% below the 6 months average. They are the potentially cheapest store here, and they have had some phenomenal growth as well. 284,353 in the last 8 months. Bouncing back into the chart is the Brick Womble. I want to call that kind of the Wombles of Wimbledon, but anyway, that should have been in red, unless that was another number. Can't remember where was. Oh no, they weren't in last week. Anyway, 31 this week, 23% over the 6 months average, and the store has grown 20,375 parts over the duration that we're covering. And finally, at number 10, down one place, is Papa Bricks, 27 this week, falling off the 29 the previous week. They are 30% over the 6 months average. Again, a drop of maybe 1. Let's have a look. Yeah, just a drop of 1%. So again, that probably suggests that the 6 months averages have increased this week. They have grown 125,830 parts in the last while. So this will look a little bit different next week, given that Bricks Warehouse are not going to get into this chart and on the current standings unless their ban is released this afternoon, and then they can get stuck into selling, but we shall see. What else was I going to show you? I was going to show you who are in the daily order top listing for the last while. Who's in here that's not in our tracking. The Brixtons are in there. They are being followed. Best Buy are being followed. Brick or Block are being followed. Queensland Bricks are the second biggest in the country now, and in fact Tanya's increased her part count even since I did that on the 5th of November, so she is flying along. Every Little Brick, that's Shannon, he's in the 3s. Bricks Bits and Pieces, Town Bricks, HMG, which is Haley, Brick Trading Company, don't know anything about them. Derek and Sons, I'm guessing that's Derek. The wildly overpriced Craig's iBricks, the Little Brick Shed, the Brick Den here in WA, Brick by Brick, Brick Womble's there. So as you can see, there are other stores that are doing better daily orders, but not over the duration. And there you can see the Brixtons are there. They had 25 this week, which just didn't quite get in because 27 was the bottom of the 10. Little Brick Shed 26 didn't get in. HM Haley was 22, and Best Buy was 17, whilst Queensland Bricks, whilst they are a massive store, continue to have very low sales numbers. Very interesting. Anyway, as you can see on the charts on the right here, total sales fairly steady in the last kind of 5 weeks, as has the actual average. It's been rock solid for at least 6 weeks, which is good. And my store itself has kind of had 2 weeks over that average, although not featured in the top 10 for a couple of weeks. But there you go. That's the way it rolls. I've said it a couple of times in the vlog. Going to be doing a little look at the United States market, thanks to having the September sales data for them. In terms of daily orders, Brick Vibe, amazingly amazing. Brock's Bricks, Samuel Bricks, Utica Bricks are all at the top of the shop there. Total items, who's the biggest? I think, is it ND Toys? 16 million parts. Wow, that is a lot, isn't it? There's been some suggestions in the comments down below which stores I should be taking a deeper look at, and we certainly will. Probably try and keep them on a comparison to similar store sizes in Australia, just so it's manageable. But this entire page is stores over 1 million, and there's just a brick in the bucket there as well. How's their sell-off going? Let's just take a closer look. These It's 3 days old, that stats, but as you can see, they are continuing to sell off. Plateaued a little bit there. Wonder why that is. They seem to have totally plateaued. In fact, they have completely stopped selling. Have they closed up? Yeah, they have closed up. There you go. It's happened. All right. So that's where we're at with them. When did they close up? 24th of October is when they actually stopped trading. There you go. Incredible. Right. That's it. This week's store report done and dusted. I'll see you next week.
Store report.
It is Friday evening. What time? 10 to 8. The missus is out, so I've been in the store doing a few orders that have come in since end of the day. So kind of castle-y feeling to that one. Bricks and tiles and stuff like that. A whole lot of white and some red and some other bits. Possibly something Christmassy. And this one's off to Germany. Don't get many orders from Europe, that's for sure, but there's that one heading off to Germany, so that's decent, which takes us into some big numbers for the week, despite everything else. Another gift with purchase has arrived. Ricky will be able to have palpitations because I don't have any socks on or shoe protection. The USA Bricklink report is up, slow going, but you know, we'll get there. It's an interesting one. Check it out. I've kind of taken a look at 6 stores: Pop's Block Shop, Indie Brick Store, Ralph's Bricks, The Brick Dynasty, Just a Brick in a Bucket, and Barn Bricks, and a little bit of kind of calculations on how their October has gone. Yeah, and that's it really. Kind of, I am pretty much done. I'm going to get these all packed up so they're out of the way. Tomorrow I would like to have a little bit of a tidy up because it is a bit of a mess here and there. So that is on the cards for tomorrow. Other than that, I have no real set idea. The second part out box was delivered and kind of talked through, so that was good. And beyond that, we'll just kind of, I've got to do the October finance spreadsheet. You know how much I love a spreadsheet. But yeah, that's pretty much where we're at. Unless anything happens drastically overnight, we may well call it a day, but we'll see tomorrow.